Here we are, season three. Season three so far has been a blockbuster of a time. Had some amazing artists on already. And today is out with exception another amazing artist. I have Marc Collin from Nouvelle Vague that is joining us today. De Paris, j'imagine you're in Paris.
Absolutely. I'm in
Nice. Well,
at
thanks
home.
so much, Marc, for joining me today and
Welcome.
talking a little bit about your musical journey
Mm.
throughout these last ages. I like to start with kind of origin stories. Where was it that what age were you at when music really started to like pop for you and was like something that was going to be a part of your existence?
Well, it's a long time ago. It was in the 80s, and I had this souvenir, like you can read in the biography of artists, it's like the kind of climax where I started to play piano, like classical piano, but I didn't really like it. Um, and I went to a party and we were like probably in 84, 83. Yeah, maybe even before. Yeah, let's say 83, 84. So
Yeah,
and there was this little band, and there was a keyboard player, and he was playing in with I think it was an organ, not even a synthesizer, but an organ. And I was amazed to see that, to see these people playing together in front of me, young
mm,
people my age, and I really thought I want to do this. I want to be this guy. So after I went to see him and I asked him, "Can you just teach me how to play?" Like because strangely, after 5 years learning piano, I didn't know how to play with people. I didn't know the chords.
right.
So he said, "Yeah, yeah, sure." So he taught me a bit of the chords, and then after I've convinced my parents to buy me a little synthesizer, and
Mm.
that was it. I was probably 15 or 16 or something like that.
Amazing, amazing. And like, what were your early influences? What were you listening to around that time, music wise? What were your groups that
But
attracted you?
I used to say that when I'm looking back at my records collection, when I was 10, I mean I wasn't like a digger or a fan of music. Really, I was just I loved music, but
Sure.
the music I was buying at that time was because I get still the singles. I got the Blondie, Heart of Glass. There was Chic, Good Times. There was Diana Ross. There was all these incredible bands actually that we are still listening
Right.
today.
Yeah. Just
So
classics. Yeah.
I had this I would say that chance, this luck. I don't know,
Chance.
chance, yes,
Chance. Yep.
to grow up in this late 70s, early 80s that was so good
Right.
music everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I had this, when you are young, you can at that time there was really like kind of you say that division of you should be hard rock or you should be reggae or you should be
Right.
new wave or you should be funk. You have to choose, you know,
Right.
culture. So very I started with the ska, the English British ska.
Mm,
I was really into
nice.
that. Yes, Madness,
Right.
Dispensos. And
Yeah.
then after, I was completely into what we call in France new wave, which I think
Yep.
is punk now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I really
Even
thought,
post punk now too. Eh? You could say
uh,
post punk is in there as well. It's
yeah. So
expanding.
that was my real passion when I was really
Mm,
started to buy albums every week and record
right.
songs and to listen to go to concert was with post punk. Yes, for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. So like, did you start writing songs like as a musician, or was your entry level more producing and kind of? Because reading and getting ready for this, I see that you produced a lot. Were you writing songs at that in those early days as well when you were just first starting up, or was it mainly you were just a part of a band that was like what
Yeah,
was your yeah
that that's how was it at that time, when you so when if I'm coming back to what I just said, after having a synthesizer, I convinced some friends to that we should be a band, and and as the guy that is, I don't know why, but most of the time when you are starting a band, the singer is mostly into like poetry, this kind of stuff, girls, the
Right.
drummer is into drums, and the guitar is in guitar, but solo, all the technique thing. So
Right. Right.
the guy that is really taking care of the recording is the keyboard player, because you are a bit already into this thing that you have to plug the MIDI, the drum machine, you
Right.
have to program the drum machine, you have all this kind of stuff. So I really, really soon I bought a four tracks recorder, a tech,
Mm-hmm.
so I was in charge of the recording. I don't know why; it just happened like that. So I started, in the same way. At the same time, I was composing, but with a band. It
Right.
means that you are not just like playing, like one gimmick, two or three chords. You have some ideas of melodies, and at the same time, I was like producing, like finding the right EQ for the drums, for the drum track,
Right.
or all that stuff, putting the reverb, putting the delay.
Right.
So I was doing everything at the same time, and
Mm.
I'm still doing this, till now in a
Okay.
way. But I'm not like a really a composer. Like I got the score, and I'm
Okay.
trying writing
Right.
music on it. And but I know how to write a song. But most of the time, what I really like is to start with a synthesizer, and the sound. The sound is inspiring me a song.
Right.
You know.
Right. Right.
But I did as
Right.
well at some years ago. I did some soundtracks, like I did like 10 soundtracks for movies, and for that I was more into like really on the piano and composing with the piano. But otherwise I'm more into like the more like the pop thing, like you have
Right.
the more than you go.
Amazing. Amazing. And when you were getting the idea for Nouvelle Vague, I read that A Love Will Tear Us Apart was the first track that came to you as, why don't we take this song and superimpose bossa nova stylings on top of it?
Yeah.
Where did that idea did it just, how did it come to you? How did you get the inspiration to think of, let's try this out?
But if you come back, I was so I had this band, and when house music came to Paris, like late 80s, and it was
Mm-hmm.
an open door for me to sign with record label, because I was into this music. I gave up a new wave that I was doing, and I was into more like techno and house music, and then I did some albums. So I was in 2003, I had already released like two albums, a lot of EPs. I was an accomplished producer already.
Okay.
And I had this idea because if you come back in the early 20s, to 20, when you say that, 20s, 20,
Yep.
20,000, yeah,
Yep.
people completely lost interest for the 80s bands. It was
Mm.
forgotten, because you have to remember that in the 90s we had a lot of new things that was coming up. Like trip
Right.
hop, jungle, drum and bass, techno. House.
Right. Right. All
So
these
much
new
new,
styles. Yeah.
always new side, and you were
Yeah.
really into the future. You were really into the new things, the new material, the new technology, the samplers, all that stuff. So all this kind of Depeche Mode, the Cure, it was
Mm.
like it was over.
Right.
Even the bands were not active anymore. It was really
That's true.
over.
That's true.
Well,
Yeah.
but nobody were talking about that. So, and I thought this is too bad, because in a way, for me, sorry,
Okay.
the classic songs for my generation are not the Beatles, are not Elton John. They are the Cure, New Order. So I
Right.
wanted to prove that. So I started to
Mm.
think about it. And then, when you are a musician, everybody is always telling you, well, if you want to know if a song is a good, you have to, play it in different manners, but you can play it only with a guitar, and if it's working, it's working. If it's not a
Mm.
good song, it won't work. If it's
Right.
not, it's too depending on the production. So I said, okay, so let's prove that if you take some songs of Joy Division of The Cure, you can only play it with just a guitar or just a piano, and you will just think, wow, this is amazing. This is a really good song. and it's as good as a Beatles song or something like that. So in a way, that was the path that leads me to the idea behind Nouvelle Vague. Is that I wanted to do a kind of tribute to all these bands. And I liked this idea that it's not because you don't know the music, that you just only knew 2 or 3 chords, that you can't have an amazing sense of melody and an amazing sense of lyrics, writing.
Yeah.
That you will write beautiful songs that will stay. And so that was really the idea behind Nouvelle Vague. And then after I had this vision, I don't know why exactly, because I was listening to bossa nova, and I thought, wow, if you imagine a young girl singing on the beach in Rio in the 50s, "Love Will Tear Us Apart" with just a guitar in bossa nova style, I'm sure it will work. I'm sure people will think, wow, this is really a good song. It sounds a bit strange now, because now everybody knows that "Love Will Tear Us Apart" is a great song.
Right.
But if you go back in 2003, it wasn't that obvious. There wasn't this movie about Joy Division, Control. There wasn't this cult about all these bands. It was before.
You're so right in saying that, because my teenager, 15 years old, loves the Smiths, loves the Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, Love and Rockets. Like all of these old, were kind of got forgotten in those early 2000s. I think the resurrection of people like yourself and other people covering these amazing songs, which brings me to this question, Marc. In your eyes, like what is it that makes that song so? Maybe not "Love Tear Us Apart," but any of the songs that you've decided that you're going to cover. Like, what makes a song worth covering, and what makes a good song? I guess because they resonate with us. But what is it in that song that gets that emotional response from the listener, in your opinion?
But the first thing is the melody and the lyrics, in a way. But I would say, as French people, it will be more the melody, because most of the time we don't really understand the lyrics. So it's really the melody. And if you listen to "Goes Boys Don't Cry," da 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 da, there's everything. The gimmick on the guitar, the verse, the little middle A, the chorus is amazing with the top line, "Boys Don't Cry." Robert Smith, he did that. He was probably 18 or 19. He didn't know that he was writing a classic, in a way. So
I know.
I like this idea. And if you listen to this song, if you listen to, of course, like New Order, I don't know, like Blue Monday, for example. If you on the guitar, it's a beautiful song. How da 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 da. You can feel that. Of course, Depeche Mode. But everybody knows now. But Depeche Mode, any songs of Depeche Mode, it's an amazing song, with an amazing strong melody on the chorus, So that's the first thing. Then after, I need to find something in the song that will inspire me an idea of a new arrangement. Because I used to say that I'm not really doing covers, I'm reinventing, the song somehow. Right. Sometimes because, I was like a bit fed up that because strangely in the pop world, it's not really a good thing to do covers. In jazz, it's okay. It's part of the thing. In classical music, of course, you can do what you want with Mozart or Bach. It's okay. But in pop song, if you are doing covers, it means that you don't know how to write a song. It's completely unfair, because it's not true. Yeah. And and a lot of people I admire, like Quincy Jones or Lalo Schifrin or those guys, John Barry. They started by doing covers because they were playing, like in ensemble in parties or that. Yeah. So me, I was really thinking about that, and I thought, okay, if you compare with theater, for example. In theater, you can play with all the history of theater. You can do something new with Shakespeare. Nobody will tell the guy, "Oh, come on, it's easy to take Shakespeare." So it's what is important is the way that you are playing with this material of Shakespeare. So I'm trying to compare myself in a way a bit like this. like a metteur en scène of taking some treasures like that, the part of the culture, my culture, and trying to reinvent and put something very personal, my way of how I can see how the song can be reinterpreted and evolve. So sometimes for example, if I'm listening like on the last album, or if you listen to for example, She's in Parties, She's in Parties, I didn't know, because we can't say that She's in Parties, it's an amazing pop song. There's really, it's just like little, voilà, but the lyrics are kind of strange, and the atmosphere and the band and the vocals are really good. But I read that this song that was a bit mysterious for me was actually about Marilyn Monroe, She's in Parties, it means that she's on a shooting, and she's in her head or something like that. And everything came up, like, okay, I will just transform the song as it was a kind of soundtrack,
Right.
So I decided to turn it like that. And so so at the end I have something.
Yeah, they're very different, in approach and feel, almost like it breathes new life into the song.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's almost not comparable to the original version to what you guys end up putting out, which is amazing. How do the people, the musicians, the songs you cover, have they ever reached out to you and reacted to the covers that you put out of their songs?
Yeah, a lot.
What do they think about your rethinking of their songs?
But most of them, they really liked it, but and I understood why. It's because when you are an artist and you are doing your thing, in a way you don't really like that people can try to copy you, to imitate you. So someone that is just doing a cover exactly like you are doing, it's like you say you can think, oh wow, okay, have fun to do it, but we did
whatever.
that.
right.
You will never you will never do something better, somehow.
Yeah.
But if you do something completely different, first you do a creative process. You just don't copy what they have done, and you do a kind of a tribute, homage to their songwriting. So if they like it, liked it. It's like, oh well, yeah, okay. And most of the time they are very surprised. I remember when I talked with Ian McKirk from Icone Bunnyman. He was like, I was amazed by how you imagine the song can be like that, like in a waltz, with just a guitar like this. And so we did this album called 3 in 2009, where we invited some of the people that we heard that they liked our version. So we invited Terry Hall from the Specials. We invited Martin Gore from Depeche Mode, Ian McCulloch, Barry Adamson from Magazine. So it was a real pleasure to work with them for this album.
Yeah, I just listened to 3 last night through the whole, and it's really, I love the duets. Ian McCulloch, I mean, I'm just a huge fan of his, and I love that cover of The Killing Moon that you guys covered. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And his duet also song that he did. How do you find your collaborators? Like, how do you find, I read somewhere that you are an amazing talent scout for finding the female vocals that you want to have that are covering some of these songs. Because I believe it's mainly female vocals that do the covers of your songs. How do you go about finding them? Or did they come to you? Like, what's your process for that?
Both is, in a way, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't want to be too humble, but I think that there's a lot of people that are really talented, if you give them the opportunity to express their talent, you can be very surprised. And Nouvelle Vague is a good, really, tool, because there's a repertoire already, and so you just of course I got these 2 models, because we started like that, the Nouvelle Vague live. We started with Camille, that was a very amazing performer already when we started the project, and I knew that she would be great, and she was really important part of the success of Nouvelle Vague. But Melanie, the other singer, I don't know why. I don't remember why we took two singers, but it was like that. I thought, okay, let's take two singers. Melanie was completely unexperienced, but she learned a lot, and so we had this kind of fire and this kind of more ice, you know.
Wow.
So now
Wow.
we are trying to always look for these two, you know, kind of stereotypes of singers, and so if I'm just hearing a girl that got this beautiful soft voice, I will think of Melanie's role, you know, something like a bit French with a French accent. And if I want to have something more wild, you know, like a more bluesy soul, I will think more of what Camille created and how all the singer came after. So it's just a matter of for this last album, I went to a party. I've decided that I started to have in mind this new album, and I went to this party and I met this girl, Alonia. And she told me, well, I'm a dancer, but I'm also a singer, and I'm doing funk, you know. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, you know. And but I thought she's probably not really a singer. She's a dancer, you know. But she surprised me because she came to do a test on should I stay or should I go, and she was amazing. Immediately I thought, oh, that's it, you know. I can ask her to do like 5 or 6 songs and to do the live, or you know, in just one appointment, you know. And so
right.
kind of easy.
Did she know the covers before she? Like, did she know about these songs before? So she came in completely knowing nothing about it, just hearing the melody that you had, and then hear the lyrics. Go for it.
Not really, because that's what we did for the first album, maybe the second album. But now it's things have changed, and most of the time the singers, they want to practice a bit before coming to the studio. So of course you say, okay, this is my version, but this is the original, so you can learn it, you know. But the main thing is that if they are not familiar with the song, if they are not fans of the song, anyway, they will not try to copy what the original singer will do, you know. So it's just a model. Okay, this is the melody. Okay, you know. But I'm telling you this, but at the same time, I think that maybe I never really sang them the originals. Maybe I just get my guide vocals. I don't remember, but anyway, I know how
they're inspired, eh? Like they seem to be inspired when they're singing these songs. Like they've been singing them for years, you know. Like it's
exactly that's
it's really quite magical. Yeah. So, Marc, just to kind of wrap things up here, again, thanks for joining. It's been really fun talking to you and kind of hearing this backstory of Nouvelle Vague and how it started. I love that. What's happening in 2024 for you and the band, and you know, in your life around music? What are you up to?
It's a very important year because, as I said, there's this new album that will be released in mid-February, so it's really now almost. And we are starting a big tour with Ireland, UK, and then we are going to Germany, Italy, Spain, Scandinavia, Greece, and hopefully Canada and USA next year.
Awesome. And your first single out is the Shout version, Tears for Fears Shout. Is that the first single that's out there now?
The first single was Only You. Then we have now Shout, and we're gonna have You Spin Me Round as the focus track on the album.
Fun. The video to Shout's really great. I love it. I've I've listened to it and watched it quite a bit. Well, thanks so much. I wish you all the best in your tour. It sounds like you have a heavy schedule coming up, so I also wish you a bit of rest before you head out. And good luck with the record. I can't wait for it to drop the full. It's always fun. I find it like Christmas Day opening presents when I'm going through your track list to see all the covers that are going to be on there. So thanks so much for joining me, and all the best to you.
Thank you very much. Bye. Ciao.
let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on, shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. In violent times, you should have to sell your soul. In black and white, they really, really ought to know. Those one-shot minds, they took you for a walking boy. Kiss them goodbye. You should have to jump for joy. You should have to jump for joy. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on, shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. They give you life, and in return you give them hell. I've cold our size. I hope we live to tell the tale. We really got to shout. And when you're speaking down your guard, if I could change your mind, I really love to break your heart. I really love to shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do